example of the military stabilizing a government?
My partner can answer that in the rebuttal, but I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What is the Millennium Challenge program?
The Millennium Challenge program is, if I can pull that up. You'll find that out in the rebuttal.
Another question is, do you have any examples that military aid has created conflict in the Sahel region?
Yes, I do, because Al-Qaeda, Al-Qaeda is a form of military aid. Not just we, but a bunch of places funneled military weapons and like kind of assistance into groups that formed into terrorist groups that formed into Al-Qaeda. And why would that help? Like, if we're giving more weapons to an area, why would that help it? Like, it's so unstable right now that all this weapon is just gonna like end up blowing up. Like,
we didn't necessarily say that we were going to give weapons to people. That military aid could come in the form of soldiers, trusted soldiers from trusted nations like America, France, Britain, coming in to create stability.
If they're trusted from other places, why would like the region trust them? Like, there's already like terrorist groups that are already formed and all these like other like rebel groups. They wouldn't trust an outside force just yet. They would have to have the government like support it, and since the government's unstable right now, they wouldn't like it.
It's their choice whether or not they want to trust American and other countries who are in the United Nations help, but all the countries in the United Nations that are advocates of the United Nations aim to help areas like the Sahel. So sending their soldiers in they'd have to trust that it was a good idea.
I know that like basing like all this effort and like into the idea that they have to trust this, or we hope that they trust this, like doesn't necessarily mean that it'll come true. Like they probably, like most likely they're not going to trust an outside source, because right now they only trust each other. They only trust the terrorist groups that are formed. Like it's just not that like you're putting so much faith in the fact that they'll be like, oh great, all these people are going to help us, when really if they can't like ask for help, why would they want it?
Okay, I have one more question for you. Do you have any evidence that developmental aid has solved problems that you've mentioned in the Sahel region?
Yeah, there's well we do. There's the Burkina Faso that the government started putting more stuff into that, and then of course it's still violent, but now we can put military aid into that, and